Alright everybody, what's up? It is time for Shokugeki no Soma, and this is episode 21, live reaction and review afterwards. If you just want to hear the review, just go to the end, but I do, I do sort of skimp on the review because I kind of live react and comment to most of the stuff that I would have otherwise reviewed anyway, so I feel like it's a waste of time if I do one and then the other to like reiterate everything I've said. Um, yeah. So without further ado, let's time this right and let's get into this shit now. Yeah, perfect. There you go. Soma. Milk Stardust. Balls of Steel. Come on, show us the glorious opening. The timing's perfect. It looks so sick on the TV. Though you guys can't really tell. hmm So anyway, last time I talked about how there are going to be plenty of people who are getting eliminated. So I wonder if some of your predictions are correct. You may find out in this episode, you may not. Ah, there we go. Actually, it's a fraction of a second faster up here, but whatever. It's hot as fuck in here. JC staff so based. The Mezzaluna. Interesting. I don't like fish, so I wouldn't know that. Hey, maybe he'll let you have some of his courage later that night, right? Just watch the girl do work. Exactly. How much time do we have left here? Okay. Interesting. Good voice actress for now. Of course. Ida. Shingo from prison school grew up and became a chef. What is that supposed to mean? Not bad for a Totsuki student? Like, I forgot about that. Yeah. The gourmet world? They've been there? Who was there but Shokuya? You see Ishiki in the background with the mask and Alice. For decades. Oh, my bad. A malicious aura. Asuma's kid grew up, apparently. Welcome to the weird side of YouTube. And being verbally abused by her. Of course. See, even she knows. Stalker psychology. It's about to do a Hadouken. That actually sounds good. She's not gonna. trained by 1mm Yuta himself. Damn. White. Interesting. Dusted. Alright, let me skip around here. Ugh. I know I do this every time, but let me get there. Oh, if you can't tell, that ending was supposed to be through the eyes of Nell, sort of. Yep. Princess Sako. Anyway, let's get this review over with. So obviously this was a very good episode. Obviously every episode's a very good episode. But just to kind of touch a couple of different things review-wise that I didn't mention. The whole thing with Hojo, and Tadakoro is actually um, addresses a very important issue that does happen. I don't know how much it happens in Japan, but apparently it's addressed. So I don't know. It is a problem in Western culture, definitely the U.S., and that's the idea of a quote-unquote feminazi. Um, no, I'm not saying every feminist is a feminazi. No, obviously not. If you want equal rights, you want equal rights. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the women who think that women are superior to men in every way, just because they've been neglected or uh, segregated or you know whatever you want to call it, discriminated against. That's the word I was looking for. Uh, it doesn't work like that. But and Hojo is that type of person. She's the actual definition of a feminazi, where she, you know, if you had help from a man, you're not worth it, which is bullshit, obviously, because it's no doesn't matter about gender. That's not the point. And she has her reasons because we saw her story I think last episode where you know she was looked down on because she was a woman, etc., etc. However, she's gone and done the exact opposite, the other extreme. So it's like, so you learned nothing from your past, basically. Not that women are superior. You've learned that you're an asshole, I guess. I mean, she basically learned nothing because the point of that was that she was supposed to realize that no, we're equal, but she went and took it the opposite direction instead of looking at the middle ground. Um, which there's usually a middle ground for just about everything. Um, so in Hojo's case, it's sort of I think it's Sukada Yuto who's the writer. I think it's his way of trying to address that type of situation and that problem. And again, I'm saying it again because I don't want people to jump on me for that. I'm not saying that all feminists are feminazis. I'm talking about people who are sexist. I'm not talking about actual feminists. I'm talking about sexism. Um, which she is sexist. It's obvious. And so, there's that. And of course, Tadakoro doing work as usual. I mean, without relying on Soma, even though she's thinking about Soma, he's her inspiration. She's working completely on her own. And when it comes to the monkfish, she's done this countless times. She's been doing this since a kid. So, what do you expect out of her? She's doing what she knows how to do. And so, we'll see her dish soon, obviously. I don't know if it'll be next episode or it might be 20. It might be 24. We'll see. Yeah, if you can't tell by now, it's probably going to end with the prelims being over. Um, that's my guess. Or maybe the prelims will end at 23, and then might see some closing preparation for the the actual bracket during 24. We'll see, but I don't think it's a spoiler at this point to tell you guys this because I'm sure you guys can figure out it's not going to end. It's not going to quickly do a tournament in 2 episodes if it ended next episode. They're not going to quickly do an 8-person tournament in 2 episodes. It's not going to work like that. So, um, you know, it's not a spoiler to say that it's most likely going to end off with the preliminaries being done. And I figured this out a couple episodes ago. It based on the pacing, and I'm like, oh, it hit me like, oh, that's where they're going to end off, and it makes sense, sort of. Um, so is there anything else? I mean, obviously, the preview talked about the Aldini brothers. They're going to face off. It's not necessarily that one will get eliminated, mind you. They're just competing for a better score. They could both be pushed through because remember, there's 4 in each block to make an 8 total. So I'm not going to spoil anything by saying, does one make it through? Did both make it through? Did neither of them make it through? You'll have to see. So there's that. Of course, the whole thing with Nao doing the bad smell. They explained it a little bit more in the manga that her cooking is supposed to have this lingering smell, and it's supposed to like have this lingering taste to their throats and things like that. So that whatever they tasted directly afterwards would be awful. Basically, it would get ruined based on the stuff that they were talking about, based on what she made. So that was her plan, was to sabotage everybody else, especially Hisako, so that they would get lower scores than her. But it didn't work for Hisako because she's a medicine chef, medicinal chef. So she was able to actually repair that palate essentially. That's how it's explained in the manga. They didn't really explain that well in the anime. Um, they just kind of hinted at it, which is fine. Um, I don't mind that they didn't spend too much time on that, but it's all good. And that's about it, I think. So there's a lot of depth to this, even if you don't, on first like watch, it's like, oh, it's a nice ecchi, it's an ecchi, and it's about cooking. Well, it's actually a decently deep story if you actually pay attention. So, I love the shit out of this anime for all reasons. For comedy, even for the ecchi, it's fine. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't judge. Like, I don't watch it for that. I actually watch it. I like the story a lot. I really like Soma. I like the characters. I like, again, the comedy, the music, the animation, everything. And the ecchi stuff, it's fine. The fan servicey stuff, I don't care too much about it, but I think it's well done. I think it's artistically driven to like serve a purpose. For example, they're trying to serve you a theoretical dish, saying like it's this good that it's like imagining this. And so I think for something that fan servicey, it does a really good job of driving the point home in something what we call showing, not telling, uh, in writing. So I do think that's such a key point that this anime manga does so well. And so I'm going to leave it at that. This was a very good episode. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.